Good have a Shabbos, everyone. Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach. We don't always have a Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach. This year we do, and we know that we read in the Haftorah, the famous Haftorah from Yecheskel, about the dried bones that Hashem prophesies, that Yecheskel prophesizes, and Hashem tells him he's supposed to bring life. That God is going to bring life back to these dry bones, and this is a symbol of Kol Beis Yisrael, the Jewish people, that they say our bones dried out, and our hope has been given up. We've given up hope, and the decree has been sealed, where they feel that's it, we're left in exile. Hashem says no, that even those who pass away in exile, it's going to be the resurrection of the dead, and everyone's going to come back with the coming of Mashiach. This is basically the prophecy of the resurrection of the dead, and we also, that comes and is followed by the prophecy that we read on the 8th day, Achron Shel Pesach, the prophecy of Yeshaya Navi about the coming of Mashiach and the personality of Mashiach. In both Haftorahs, the Zohar quotes that there's a combination between the two. The Zohar, the prophecy of Yecheskel talks about a wind that comes from four sides that resurrects the bones and makes them alive. And we know that there's four ruachs that talks about Mashiach. It's ruach Hashem, ruach Chochmah Bina, ruach Das, Yiras Hashem, and there's ruach Eitzu Gvura. So there's four ruachs correspond to the four ruachs, the four winds that talked about the resurrection of the dead in the prophecy of Yecheskel. And the Rebbe connects the ideas. First of all, just a side note about the bones that are dried out. We're not sure because Machlekes in Gemara, if it was just a parable, if it was just a mashal, if it actually happened, and what happened to them, who were they? The conclusion is, the Rebbe brings down that they were from the story of Bava Ben Buta, who says that he was a sage in the time of the Talmud, the Second Temple, that I'm a descendant of these dry bones, and these are the tefillin of my forefathers that were from the people that were resurrected by Yecheskel. And this means that they were not actually from the tribe of Ephraim that left Egypt 30 years before the Jewish people that were killed by the people of Gaza, but they are actually some bones that from people that lived as Jewish people. That's why they had tefillin. And that they actually went and moved to Eretz Yisrael and they had children. Bava Ben Buta was a descendant of theirs. That's a side note. But the message of the Haftorah, the Rebbe connects to the idea of Mashiach. It's not just the dry bones. The question is, why does God have to give life? God says, I'm going to give life, I'm going to resurrect, I'm going to give chayis, I'm going to give vitality. Jewish people are known, it says, the Jewish people by definition are alive. But how are we alive? The Pesach says, you have to be connected to Hashem. What does it mean when something's dried out? Something that's dried out means that it's lacking moisture, it's lacking the life of the water, which is Torah. When a person distances themselves from Torah, disconnects themselves from Hashem, from the life of Torah, then you're considered a person of dry bones. And from there could trigger the feeling of atikvasenu, I've lost all hope. And even more than that, a person who's really cuts himself off, not just cuts himself off from Torah, because from Torah you could have tshuva, from Torah you could resurrect yourself, you could get back, everyone could push back in. Where could a person say that the decree has been sealed, it's too late? A person may feel that there's absolutely no hope. There's a person who cuts himself off not just from Torah but also from the community. And your mamish living alone, separate from a Jewish people, a person may think they have no hope. Hashem says, nevertheless, there's going to be a resurrection. There's a way to get life back into a person. When a person realizes that there's no such thing as no hope, there's always going to be a way for a person to come back to the Jewish fold. And this is really the message that we talk about in Pesach, which is the idea of Pesach, which is to leap forward, to jump out of any kind of limitation. Even when a person holds and feels that there's no hope, a person may feel that the decree's been sealed. But Hashem says, I'm going to give life. There's a resurrection to your situation, both as an individual and hopefully for the Jewish people, with the coming of Mashiach. And this also comes to teach us why we talk about this idea on Pesach, because it's brought down that the resurrection of the dead is going to happen over Pesach, just like the Melchama, the war of Gog and Magog, is going to happen over Sukkot. So that's where we read about it in the prophecy of Zechariah on Sukkot. So just like, unfortunately, we've had the horrible events that happened on Sukkot, so too should we have the prophecy of Yecheskel, that just like the war started on Sukkot, may the war finish with the resurrection of the dead, the coming of Mashiach. This Pesach we should celebrate Mashiach Suda together with Mashiach here in Yerushalayim Kodesh. Good Yom Tov and good Shabbos.